Hello and welcome back. Fitness Friday with Johnny Tiger and
Kitten.
camera woman Kitten. She's holding the camera today, so if you guys can't see my head, it's her fault. That's okay. No one needs to see my head anyway. So some people are probably wondering how come we're in the kitchen. Well, because we're going to do a product review, or actually a little bit of a rant on the product uh, we recently purchased for working out. And it's been a bit of a disappointment, and I was surprised because I purchased the same product for Kitten a couple of years ago in the beginning of the pandemic, and hers was working fine. But we'll talk more about the reason for that in a little bit. First, the date is Friday, September 30, 2022, and the product we're going to review today is right here. What is that? Well, that's a 20-pound adjustable ankle weight made by Cando. I'm not even joking about that. Company name is Cando, Cando. You can find this on Amazon, and it is actually quite pricey. But the reason that we got this was first, we wanted a 20-pound ankle weight for some more heavy duty leg workouts. Now, of course, you can just get two 10-pound ankle weights and tie it onto your leg and do the same thing. But let's be honest, that's a little bit cumbersome, a little bit uh, bulky and uncomfortable when you have two 10-pound ankle weights versus one 20-pound ankle weight. So it is a bit different. Another thing is because we had such a hard time finding companies that sell 20-pound ankle weights, we ended up going with Cando. But a secondary reason was we wanted a specific type of ankle weight. You see, most of the ankle weights and arm weights you guys see today are loaded with that sand or metal shaving like material, which means after a few uses, a lot of them will start to leak. As I already had that experience one time in my training room, it's not very pleasant. What makes these Can-Do ones different? Let me show you guys. Is when you spread this open, there are pouches in the back with Velcro, and when you open these up, the weights are these metal metal bars that you can take out, and each one of these I think is like 5 pound. Not 5 pound. Like each one of these is like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each one is 1 pound, not 5 pounds. That would be crazy. And aside from being great for making this adjustable, and it's not going to leak sand all over your floor, these are also great for self-defense, right? Carry one of these in your pocket, right? Someone pissed you off, you hit them over the head with it. Yeah, don't tell them I tell you that. Oh, goofiness aside, that is why we picked the Can-Do uh, ankle weights. Now, those are the pros of this thing. Yeah? It's adjustable. It's not going to leak all over the place, and it will give you a great workout. Not to mention some very cool secret self-defense weapon. Yeah, I have to say that again. But very quickly, we came to the con of this, of the Cando adjustable ankle weights. And that really is what prompted me to make this video. Now, normally I don't do product review on the Fitness Friday, but I feel a little bit obligated to do this because some of the problem you will encounter with the Cando adjustable ankle weights are issues that may get you injured. And it is my thought that if I can warn you guys about this firsthand, then you may not have to go through getting injured by this, right? Uh, the first two things they are more of a public safety announcement kind of thing. They're not really problems with these ankle weights. They're more like uh, you need to be cautious about when handling something like this. Number one, and believe me, I've actually injured myself twice with these. Uh, very embarrassing because it's the kind of things that I should have known better. Number one, when you are used to the kind of ankle weights that are filled with sand or metal shaving, sandbag type ankle weight, wrist weight, when you are moving them and putting them down, a lot of people develop the bad habit of just dropping them. Okay, don't do that with these. The first time I took them out of the box, I had one in each hand. I carried them into my training room, and I did the unthinkable. I went to put them down, and I just let them fall from my hand like I would the sandbag style, and one of them glanced off the back of my foot. Let me tell you, it was a very ouchy moment and so embarrassing because I knew better. Like it's the kind of thing that why did I just do that to myself? Kind of that kind of moment. Okay, so when you're handling these, remember it's metal bars inside. Don't drop it. Okay? Treat it like a dumbbell, not like a sandbag. Number two, and this is less obvious, is when you are moving them around. Again, when you guys are used to moving barbells, dumbbells, sandbags, you don't think about your fingers because dumbbell barbells, you keep your hand on the bar, you're fine. Sandbags, even if it hits your finger, it's fine. Huh? No matter how heavy that is. These, believe me, going to hurt. Okay, let's say I hold it in my hand like this, right? And I go and put it down on the table. And if I don't get my finger out of here in time, half of this weight is going to smush my finger. So this is going to essentially do that. It's going to pinch my finger between these iron bars, metal bars. Okay, so really, when you handle these, remember that they are going to pinch if you keep your finger in the middle. So when you handle them, be careful with that. Number three, this is another thing that a lot of people don't think about. When you strap sandbags to your ankle, I'm just going to use my wrist for now. When you strap sandbags to your ankle, and let's say my hand is a foot, right? Let's say my hand is a foot. When you start running, it's okay. The sandbag will conform to your leg. These metal inside. When you start running or moving, these will grind against your the bone on your ankle, bone on the top of your foot. They're very, very uncomfortable. It can leave bruises, right? So when you work out with these, you got to remember to wear thick socks, long pants, and workout shoes. Believe me, if you put workout shoes on, this will change the experience so much. If you don't wear shoes and you want to use these at your ankle, very painful experience. Now, some people like Kitten that actually have nicely contoured legs like to tell people, just wear it around your thigh, just wear it around your knee. Look, I don't know which planet Kitten is from, but the rest of us basically are built with thighs thicker than knee and knee thicker than calves. Which means if we put it around our thighs or knees, as soon as we start to move, whoops, it goes down to the ankle. Okay, the rest of us have chicken drumstick shaped legs. We're not shaped like, I don't know, some weird cat style animal. And we have Aslan, who's trying to steal the view. So those are the three things you got to take into consideration. This is not even getting into the actual problem with the product. This is just the way the product is. These are normal problems. Okay, these are normal problems. You got to watch them when you put them down. Don't drop them. You got to watch your finger when you're moving them. Otherwise, they're going to pinch your finger in between these heavy weights. And you have to put shoes on before you start moving with them around your ankle. Otherwise, you're going to hurt the hell out of your feet. Okay? These are normal problems. Now, let's talk about the actual issues with these. Number one, most most good quality ankle weights or wrist weights should have two straps. This, as you can see, only have one. 20 pounds of metal bar, and they only put one strap on this, and there's already a problem. Okay, the first day, the first day I started using this in workout, put them on, barely did a couple of leg lifts when one of these dropped from my ankle, almost hit me in the balls. And what's going on is, I'm going to bring it closer to the camera so you guys can hopefully see this. This ring, this metal ring that holds the strap on, it's only stitched on to the material, which means it's not nowhere strong enough to hold this 20 pounds of weight. As soon as you start moving, that will tear free and this will fall off of your leg. Oh no. Right? So what I ended up doing that after that happened was I stitched it back together and I threaded a very durable cord through the ring and then the material itself, and I went around and around the material several times. So now it's much better enforced. I can bounce it up and down. Nothing's tearing. Huh? Great. I thought that was the end of the problem. Next day, I strapped them back on and started working out, running on the treadmill, and feeling like a badass. And I started hearing this little tearing sound. And suddenly, clink, a metal bar hit me on the foot. And I realized that the, at the bottom, where you insert the bars, the material were tearing free. The bars were tearing through the material. Why is that? Okay, let me show you guys the bar again. Let me see if I can do this without breaking the kitchen sink. If you look at this rather solid piece of metal, they didn't even file down the end. Okay, the ends are kind of rough. Right? This is kind of rough, sharp, jagged edges on the ends. which means every time you move, this is filing, scraping against the material, and in short time, it tears through the material, the pouch, and it's going to drop out. So, okay, fine, no problem. Johnny Tiger, master of Mickey Mousing things, went back to the drawing board and I inserted uh, tiny pieces of styrofoam and paper into the pouch at the bottom to cushion these, and put on some of these pieces I put electrical tape on the end, so they are not so sharp. It
Hold on,
took
honey.
took a bit of work, but finally, after a couple of hours of taping and testing and stuff like that, now we can actually get these to relatively stay in one piece while we do all kind of punching and of course something just fell out. You guys see what I mean? I did that on purpose just to show you guys. Yeah, right. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? There's problem. There's a lot of problem with the durability of these can do. Well, rather than calling them can do, it's more like cannot do. uh, now, I'm not saying that don't buy these, uh, but of course, if you can find better options, if you can find that uh, better made ankle weights, then I definitely say go with the better made one. Uh, but if you just can't find anything better, right, and you have to work out with these, then go ahead and buy it. But just know that you have to do a little bit of homework afterwards, right? You need to reinforce where the ring is attached because that is going to break first. The first time you try to use this, that is going to break. Okay, so you might as well go ahead and reinforce that with a paracord or even shoelaces and duct tape, electric tape first, right? And then you got to take these weights out of the pouch and then pad the ends, reinforce the ends so they're not so jagged. And then you are okay. Like these will more or less stay together, right? I'm bouncing them. Huh? It's fine. Not perfect. And honestly, when you spend like $100, $200 for these, because it's almost $100 each, you really shouldn't have to do this, right? This should be ready to use, perfectly safe, out of the box, but they're not. Now, like I said, Kitten had got a pair of these in the beginning of the pandemic, and hers is perfectly fine. The reason for that is Kitten actually went ahead and removed about 10 pounds of bars from each of her ankle weight. So she's essentially working with 10 pounds of weight in each, which means the material is not under so much stress. So if you get these, and you're okay with reducing the weight to just 10 pounds, or in the beginning, rather than buying 20 pounds, just go ahead and buy 10-pound ones. Uh, they'll be fine. The material is okay for 10 pounds. It's just when you're dealing with this 20 pounds of metal bars with sharp ends and weak material, these become very problematic very quickly. So I don't know how many of you might have seen this. Again, the brand is Can Do, should be called Cannot Do, and there's a cat underneath the sink making noises with the cupboard.
He's been causing trouble this whole video.
Yeah, he's a little troublemaker. Ever since he killed his first mouse, you can't tell him anything. He's a grown up now. I think he's going to start thinking he's the boss of the house pretty soon. So anyway, that is, folks. If you guys want to get some really finicky ankle weights that after a bit of work can still give you a tough workout, then Cando is an option. But if you just think that you want to get something of good, safe quality and you don't have to Mickey Mouse anything, then you probably want to give Cando a pass. Like after a couple of days of taping and tying things together and padding things up, I was able to get these to work for me as intended. But like I said, when you spend almost $200 on something, you really shouldn't have to do that. Okay, so I hope this save you guys some money, or at the very least, save you guys from some injury that might have been caused by these. Thank you, Kitten, for being our camera woman,
Yay!
and we'll be back tomorrow for Survival Saturday. Bye.
Bye.